Hey everyone, welcome back to Corporate Decoder, the place where we unpack the secrets hidden in plain sight within corporate filings just like this one. Today we're diving into a very particular type of report, an 8K, which often signals a significant event or announcement for a company. Think of it as a company's way of saying something important just happened, and you need to know. So what happened with Strategic Student and Senior Housing Trust Incorporated? Well, it seems like they've issued a letter to their stockholders. Now, that might sound a little dry, but these letters can often contain crucial updates about the company's strategy, financial performance, or future prospects. Let's peel back the layers and see what this letter is all about. This report is from Strategic Student and Senior Housing Trust Incorporated. You can see it is a current report, meaning it is about something that has happened recently, specifically on the 21st of November 2025. This type of report isn't for everyday performance updates, but rather for those big, immediate announcements that investors need to know about right away. The whole point of this filing is to let everyone know that on the 21st of November 2025, the company, which they refer to as the company, sent out a letter to its stockholders. This letter is considered Exhibit 99.1 and is being furnished with this report. Now, this isn't a deep dive into financials like you might see in a quarterly or annual report, but these letters are often where companies share key information that might affect shareholder value. What is interesting here is the furnished only part. This means the CC is acknowledging that the company is providing this information, but it is not officially being filed in the same way that, say, a financial statement would be. This often suggests the information is more informational or perhaps related to ongoing discussions rather than official financial pronouncements. In the world of securities, these nuances are important. What could be in a letter like this from a company focused on student and senior housing? It could be about new property acquisitions, changes in their investment strategy, updates on occupancy rates, or perhaps even news about their management team. They are likely involved in real estate, specifically targeting the student and senior demographics, which are two distinct but potentially stable markets. Looking at the securities registered, it is interesting to note that there are none listed here for trading on any exchange. This suggests that Strategic Student and Senior Housing Trust Incorporated securities are not publicly traded on major stock exchanges like the New York Stock Exchange or NASDAQ. This can mean a few things. It might be a privately held company, or perhaps it is a type of trust where shares are offered directly to investors without going through the usual public market channels. This often means less liquidity for investors, meaning it might be harder to buy or sell shares quickly compared to publicly traded stocks. Now, the absence of traded securities doesn't mean this company isn't significant. Companies like this often operate through private placements or are structured in ways that don't require listing on major exchanges. Their focus on student and senior housing is a strategic choice. These are demographic trends that are generally expected to grow. The student population is always a constant, and the aging population in many developed countries represents a significant long-term demand for senior living facilities. The success of such a company would depend heavily on its ability to acquire or develop desirable properties in good locations, manage them efficiently to maintain high occupancy rates, and control operational costs. The fact that this is a 7.01 regulation FD disclosure item means they are making sure to disclose this information to everyone simultaneously to avoid any selective disclosure issues. Regulation fair disclosure is all about leveling the playing field for all investors. So, what this boils down to is that the company is making a significant announcement via this letter. Without the letter itself, we can only speculate on the details, but its issuance itself is a signal. Now, as a general observation for a company like this, without seeing direct financial tables in this particular document, we have to infer based on the context of the filing. Their business model is heavily reliant on real estate assets, specifically student and senior housing. Key indicators of success would be occupancy rates, average rent per unit, property development costs, and overall portfolio value. A letter to stockholders could be detailing recent capital raising efforts, plans for expansion into new markets, or even a strategic shift in their property portfolio, perhaps divesting some assets to focus on higher growth areas or acquiring new ones to bolster their offerings. The absence of any specific financial figures in this 8K filing means we can't do a deep dive into numbers like revenue growth or profit margins today. However, the very fact that they are issuing a letter and informing the public is important. It suggests a need to communicate something material to their stakeholders. For a company in the real estate trust space, material events could include significant property transactions, changes in debt financing, or updates on the performance of their existing portfolio. If this were a company whose stock was publicly traded, we'd expect to see a much more detailed financial breakdown. So, what is my take on this? Strategic Student and Senior Housing Trust Incorporated is operating in a sector with strong demographic tailwinds. The demand for both student and senior housing is likely to remain robust. However, operating in real estate, especially specialized segments like this, comes with its own set of risks, including property management challenges, regulatory hurdles, and economic downturns that can affect rental income and property values. Since this filing primarily points to a letter to stockholders and doesn't contain detailed financial statements, it is hard to give a definitive assessment of their current financial health or future prospects. The key lies in the content of that letter. This filing serves more as a notification that an important update has been provided to investors. Rather than a comprehensive financial disclosure itself, what does this mean for you? It means if you are an investor or considering investing in this company, you'll want to get your hands on that letter of stockholders. That is where the real meat of the story is. Keep an eye on future filings to see if more detailed financial information becomes available. Alright, that is our quick decode of this 8K filing. What is your take on this type of announcement? Do you find these letters to stockholders helpful? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. If this analysis was valuable, hitting that like button really helps us out. And don't forget to subscribe for more deep dives into corporate language. We also have a Discord community linked in the description if you want to chat more about these filings and connect with other curious minds. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.